Hello everyone, I want to preface this with a second intro. There's going to be two intros here. This one is me in the future or me in the current state, and the next intro after this is going to be the original intro, which is from the past. And the reason why I'm doing a new intro is because before uploading this video, first of all, it was almost 1 hour long. There was a lot of stuff to break down and digest. And two, during that period, Tectone uploaded a video about no more drama. Now, I watched that video. I also watched GooseEgg's video. For those of you who don't know, the drama involves myself, Tectone, GooseEgg, and to a degree, Mtashed, who was playing the mediator. He didn't do anything wrong. And I was under the impression, after watching Mtashed on stream speaking to Tectone, it was deja vu of when I spoke to Tectone during the Enviosity drama between him and Envy. And I was like, there's no hope. He's not going to improve. He doesn't get it. He's just deflecting. After watching his latest video, I have hope now that maybe he sees something. Maybe he understands the damage that he's caused and the behavior that he's been doing. One, isn't necessary because he has charisma. He's entertaining. There's a reason why he's one of the top dogs. And he doesn't need to rely on that to be his brand. And two, that it was hurting a lot of people. And it's just very unnecessary. So I do believe moving forwards, it's possible to have a less fragmented community. And I really, really do hope that is going to be the case. The reason why I'm still making this video public, not the full 1 hour, but maybe around 30 minutes, is there have been more than 5 lies during this whole period used to spin a narrative about me to taint my name. And that's okay because I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, at least towards Tectone, that he was fed misinformation because someone as in GooseEgg didn't really understand or comprehend what I was actually saying. And he was in the heat of the moment, and one misinformation led to another, which then spiraled out of control. But the reality is there were still lots of lies told and used to spin a narrative about me, and I want to clear that up. That's what I'm going to leave as a public video. I will also leave the second half of the original video where I'm talking about the direct messages of my final conversation with Tectone as an unlisted video. So if people want to see the context or my perception of how I perceive that, they can watch that. Now, regardless, this is still a lose-lose situation because one, if I don't say anything, people are going to dunk on me. If I say anything, people are still going to dunk on me. And even then, it's going to bring more eyeballs to the situation. And maybe Tectone or Goose will make another YouTube video or they'll react to it on stream. And they're within their right to do so. So I have no issues if they do so. However, do not expect any more videos on this topic from me. I just want to move on now. I had a great stream yesterday and the day before that, and I really do just want to move on. I don't want to be associated with those two in any way, shape, or form anymore. They're not my friends. Just because we make Genshin Impact content does not mean content creators have to be friends. Bridges were burned. Some bridges were never made. And as adults, I think we can all respect that. And I think that's absolutely a-okay. I believe they also reciprocate that feeling as well. So thank you for hearing me out. And I hope you do watch the rest of the video to hear, for lack of a better term, my side of the story as well. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Hello everyone, in light of the recent drama involving myself, GooseEgg, Tectone, and I guess to a degree Mtashed, I wanted to make a video which tries to clear up a lot of the very unfortunate misunderstandings which then translated into a lot of misinformation and straight up lies being used to spin a narrative about myself, and I wanted to lay out what I believe anyway to be the facts. I want to preface this by saying normally I do all my videos in one take, but this one I literally have a notepad next to me with a whole list of points that I need to cover or I want to cover, so there will be cuts in the video and I will be glancing between here and there as well, and I just wanted to make sure that it's as concise as possible. So let's begin. First of all, I want to mention that in the description down below, I will leave the POVs and the streams that are relevant to this down there. So my stream, Tectone stream, GooseEgg stream, Mtashed stream, etc., etc. All of that kind of stuff will be down there, so people can go and watch them for themselves and come to a conclusion. But the reality of it is there's literally hours upon hours upon hours of footage, and what most people want is going to be summaries. And what happens with summaries is it's going to be very biased, and you won't be able to make a conclusion which is uninfluenced by any other parties. And I want to encourage people to come to a conclusion by themselves. Okay, I want to preface this video to make it very crystal clear what my intention and the purpose of this video is. I don't expect anyone to apologize to me. I don't think anyone has to actually apologize to me. I don't expect to be forgiven by anyone either, because there seems to be this narrative of why does Tectone and Goose have to apologize? Why do they have to be sorry, and why do they have to forgive other people? At the very least, when it comes to me, I don't expect them to forgive me, and neither will they be getting an apology from me, and that sounds very, very obnoxious, but the reason why is because I stand by what I said. I don't feel I need to apologize for what I said because I believe it to be true. Is it harsh? Is it mean? Is it rude? Yeah, it pretty much was. I have a big ego, and I always joke that I have a God complex. Now, again, the point of this video is to not change that narrative. All right, I know a lot of people don't like me because they think I have a big ego and I'm a douchebag, and that's absolutely a-okay. What I don't appreciate, though, is this person is an asshole, or this person has a big ego because my favorite content creator, Tectone or GooseEgg, made up this lie about me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. That's fine. I can't make everyone like me in the world, and I have no intention to do that in the first place. But at the very least, if you don't like me, just say you don't like me. You don't have to lie on my name, and I will address what I mean by lying on my name. The next thing is the main purpose of the video, and the main cause of this drama is, and I speak on behalf of myself, there's been an issue with Tectone and GooseEgg where they keep drama baiting both the Genshin TikTok community, the Genshin Twitter community, and most importantly to me and closest to me, the Genshin content creator community, by throwing a lot of bait tweets out there, by throwing a lot of shade on their streams or even in their video or VOD highlights. And it's just very frustrating, and it's something that has not changed. In fact, it's probably regressed in terms of progression from the Enviosity and Tectone drama, or all the way back since the Jinx and Tuna versus Tectone drama. Since then, the drama, the chaos, the toxicity, it just keeps happening. Almost like it's a monthly thing. And I want to see it stopped. And a lot of the misinformation and a lot of the aggression that has come from this drama has come from an incident where I confronted Tectone in private. And this is where things are going to get messy and somewhat confusing. But again, I have the notepad here, and I will try my best to make this as clear-cut as possible. So again, my intention of this video is not to make me look like a good guy or a bad guy. You are free to make your own decision or conclusion about me. I just want to make sure that if you're going to come to that conclusion, make sure you do it with facts rather than making up statements or false narratives about me. So let's begin. Now, the first narrative that I believe to be false is this narrative that Goose is, and I guess to a degree Tectone, is not drama baiting. And the reason why I disagree with this is because Goose made the video. The video is titled, the original video that set things off is titled, "These People Are Ruining Genshin Impact." And the beginning of the video is me. It's covering my tweets from my poop Twitter account where I just dump my own thoughts. Those thoughts are there to express my feelings. It's not there to enforce anything on other people. Now, Goose justifies this by very hypocritically saying, oh, if you do these subtweets, it's going to make people paranoid. And at the same time, I'm looking at that and thinking, okay, then why don't you address your besties' tweets? All right, it's the same thing. It's very hypocritical, and I personally do not believe that was his intention, but rather because they have been consistently throwing shade at content creators, they just wanted someone to bite, and I decided to bite. And the reason why other people don't bite, in my opinion, is because who wants to go against Tectone and GooseEgg? Tectone is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Genshin Impact content creator. It's going to be a punching down fight, and it's going to be a lose-lose situation. There's really no point in doing so, and a lot of people are just straight up not confrontational, and that's absolutely a-okay. And this is where MTash ended up coming in as well, and I'll talk about MTash later on. I'm very grateful to Mike because he really did kind of make me feel like I was not going crazy, like I was not going insane in seeing all of these things between Tectone and GooseEgg. The next thing that I want to address is this narrative of where GooseEgg and Tectone, or at the very least GooseEgg, was emphasizing, oh, I'm rent-free in Atsu's head because I supposedly reacted to his videos for 4+ hours. And he repeated this with Tectone in a very condensed period of time over and over and over and over again. They're like, oh, Atsu reacted to this short video for 4 hours. Actually, if you took a look, it was less than 2 hours, and the irony here is that when Goose went live, ready and waiting for the drama to spill, he did over a 5-hour stream reacting to it. Now, the next lie that I want to discuss is this agreement between myself and Tectone not to mention each other and speak on each other's name or content or whatever for that matter, and I can verify that. Tectone emphasized that very heavily in the VODs where he was talking about me and how I supposedly broke this agreement by coming out and dragging him into this drama following Goose's video. Now, the big irony here is that one, it is a lie, and two, the person who didn't actually respect that agreement was Tectone himself. And again, within Goose's latest video of my side of the story, he says, oh, Tectone had nothing to do with this. Well, what exactly is this stream? Not only did he talk on my name, he made a reference and comment to many other content creators as well, albeit not all negative stuff, but he did throw a little bit of shade here and there. And again, very unnecessary, very hypocritical, and it's just a straight up lie to spin a narrative that apparently I didn't respect the wishes that we had an agreement on, when in fact he actually broke that agreement first. Now, the next lie I want to address is the one regarding Freem. Tectone claims that I spoke about Freem and I dragged her into this and I called Freem a yes man. This is 100% false. In fact, in my VODs, I did not mention Freem's name whatsoever. Only other than addressing the fact that Tectone and GooseEgg were lying about this. And the reason why I believe this is to be a really big misunderstanding is I believe Tectone was shopping while GooseEgg was reacting to this. He came back, and then I believe GooseEgg fed him some information which was not wholly accurate. And based off that, he did say in the VOD as well that he just trusts GooseEgg and whatever he says, which is the first mistake because GooseEgg wasn't able to comprehend what I was saying and the words were twisted. And therefore, he believed I was insulting Freem, which is not true because Freem, who is Tectone's wife, I think is a superstar and an absolute angel. And Tectone's mentioned this before as well. She actually created, or they both created me, a very cute emote of Jojo, my cat, as well featuring Prime Gaming. And that's still an emote I have on my channel today because I cherish it. And I really do appreciate Freem for making that for me. And that's why it was very shocking to me when I saw this tweet. And I was very disappointed that the truth had been spun into a lie to drag my name. Now, the reach that happened here was after Tectone's chat and people in his community straight up said to Tectone, and thank you for the people who did, that Atsu didn't actually mention Freem at all. He then started pointing to messages I sent very long time ago, which were just very general messages saying stuff like, oh, the people around you are yes men. That's a general statement. That doesn't say Freem. If I wanted to specify, I could have just specified. It's just very frustrating that the words get twisted so easily like that. And again, I will use this logic to help people understand why this is a general statement. If Tectone makes a statement, which he has done so in the past, saying like every streamer that does this or that is trash, do you think he actually acknowledges the existence of every single streamer and it applies to every single streamer he's talking about? No, he's taking a shot at probably around 4 to 10 different content creators. That's what it is. It's just a general statement. It's a figure of speech. And that's why it's frustrating. That's lie number 3. The next lie, which is the biggest one, and also what I want to believe this just came from an extremely unfortunate misunderstanding and a lack of comprehension on behalf of GooseEgg, because as I mentioned earlier, Tectone was in the mall shopping for like Pokemon cards. He came back and he had to be filled in on what was happening via GooseEgg. Now, GooseEgg, his comprehension was very poor, maybe not permanently, but on the day, at least for this, and I broke this down in my second VOD, how bad his comprehension of what I was saying was. He did not understand why I was mentioning DMs. The reason why I mentioned DMs and whether Tectone would want to show the DMs or not, I didn't force him to mention DMs. I said if Tectone wants to show the DMs, he can. And the reason why I was talking about DMs is because I wanted to emphasize that I tried to talk to him in private. I tried to talk to him in public and private, and I failed. I failed miserably. And we'll talk about the DMs and the actual context of the DMs in a moment. But I failed because people were like, why don't you just resolve this privately? Why don't you take this to the DMs? I tried. I failed. And that's why if Tectone wanted to show them, he could show them. And the reason why I said Tectone can show them if he wants to, because I know there was private stuff in there. I know there was personal stuff in there. And that's why if he wants to show them, he can show them. Goose did not relay that information to Tectone. Tectone came back and asked, is Atsu going to threaten to leak DMs? Because I have them as well. And Goose is like, yes. That's all he said. He didn't emphasize on anything. He didn't say anything other than that. And that set Tectone off. And he went to the DMs and he ended up doing a whole stream showing literally from start to finish our DMs. So much chatter in there as well, which just showed how close we were as friends as well. in those DMs. And Tectone says that himself as well. And I agree with that. And again, I'll talk about the context in a moment. But this lie that I supposedly forced Tectone to show them, first of all, doesn't make any sense. Because if I had any malicious intention with the DMs, rather than to back up my point of I was trying to talk to him in private, why would I have not just shown the DMs? Why would I have said, oh, I'm going to leak the DMs. Here you go. Here's plenty of time for you guys to decide whether or not you want to leak it. I would have just shown the DMs myself. It doesn't make any sense. And this is why it's so frustrating, because the logic with all this drama seems to have just gone out of the window. So that is unfortunately the next big lie, and it's one of the biggest ones, and it's very, very frustrating. The next lie that was told was regarding the two-facedness and shit-talking of other content creators from Tectone. Now, I made the statement that one of the things that really turned me off from Tectone was that he would shit-talk people and he would be two-faced. So he would shit-talk behind their backs, content creators, and then play nice in public. And he did this with a lot of content creators, and I don't want to name any names, but I will have to name one for context's sake, because I specifically specified the example of Tenha. Tectone would shit talk Tenha and say he was creepy, and that Tenha would weird him out because Tenha was way too attached to Tectone, and Tectone didn't like that and didn't like him. They might be friends now, but the reality, at the very least coming from my mouth, is that's what happened. Now, there was no way for me to verify this. There was no way for me to put this other than a he said, she said situation, because all of this was done in the voice calls. Now, Tectone proceeded to use the DMs as a defense mechanism. He showed all of our DMs, which one highlighted we were friends, which two highlighted we did have voice calls, although he brushed over that to his detriment. And when he got to the end of the DMs, he was like, yeah, where am I an awful person? Where have I shit talked people? Where am I horrible? I have the receipts. And again, it's because he missed the point. The point of the DMs was to show I tried to contact him privately and confront him privately, not to show that he was shit talking people. And the mistake that Tectone made is on Goose's stream, he actually admitted to shit talking Tenha. What he probably forgot in that moment is that if he planned to spin this narrative that the DMs prove he's innocent regarding the two-facedness and the shit-talking, he probably shouldn't have admitted to my claim regarding Tenha. So you can do with that what you want, but my statement and my claim, because again, there's still he said, she said, other than the Tenha thing, is that Tectone was shit-talk and be two-faced about other content creators in voice call. And he would keep screenshots, and this is from his mouth. He would keep these screenshots. He screenshots all the conversations with everyone he's with because he's scared that this kind of stuff is going to happen in the future. I wonder why he doesn't record the voice calls then. Moving on. The next lie is Tectone making a very bold claim that I deleted DMs during his reaction to him showing all the DMs. Now, there's two reasons why this was a very stupid lie to tell, and another reason, or rather the reason why it's really stupid if you actually believe this lie in the first place. Someone asked in the chat before Tectone started showing the DMs, what if Atsu starts deleting the DMs? Tectone then brags about having screenshots, so deleting would not do anything. Yet, when he goes through the DMs, instead of showing his screenshots, he just shows the live DMs, and he's like, oh, he's actually deleted a DM here. And he could have proven that was not true by showing his screenshots, which he didn't. And then he started spinning this narrative of, yeah, Atsu deletes his DMs. I'm just going to let that sit with you while I go and get something from the back. Very manipulative.
Where did you hear that I said chest response? That's something I said. Do you remember where? I wonder where I would have said to give that impression, because I've never thought that. No, I was being sarcastic. Did you delete something? Oh, apparently Atsu has been deleting DMs. Okay, sorry. The context for that won't make sense because he's been deleting DMs. Bum, bum, bum. I'm going to just let that sit there real quick while I piss. Wonder why we're deleting DMs.
The second reason why it's a very stupid claim to make is if you look at the conversation, we're literally talking about respawning chests. What is there for me to delete? If you think it's about Majestic multigaming, both Tectone and I have publicly disapproved of him. We are not pro Majestic. We have dunked on him multiple times. And the thing that's absolutely bizarre to me is like, even in that DM context, it still makes sense. Like, the conversation makes sense. And he's trying to spin it as, oh yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Atsu must have deleted DMs. And so many people took that and ran with it. And you can look at his chat, they're like, caught in 4K, caught in 4K, caught in 4K, without thinking for themselves. They're echo chambering him. And that just reinforces the points, one of the claims I made, they're being an echo chamber. They have no verification whether or not this is true. They're just mimicking what he says and enforcing what he says and making him believe what he's saying is true and correct and factual when it's not. And for context's sake, I made a video where I was referencing the respawning chests and how it's not true. Respawning chests aren't real, by the way. And someone in my comment section left a comment about the respawning chest and how Tectone made that claim before. And Tectone was under the assumption that I made a claim that Tectone has spoken about respawning chests when I replied with, it's just sarcasm. And like from there, the conversation makes sense. It's just a really stupid lie to tell. And I hope that all of this just emphasizes how many lies and how much manipulation has gone into spinning this narrative to then play victim. Now, I've just made a very, very bold claim there by saying he's playing victim, and I'm sure people are going to be like, why are you trying to gaslight him? But I just want to emphasize that this is not the first, and while I hope it to be the last time, I don't believe this is going to be the last time that Tectone is going to get into some trouble because of something he said. Whether or not he meant it in a certain way or not, the reality is, he breeds drama and he capitalizes on it. He likes making content on it. He likes streaming about it. And there's a lot of drama stuff on his channel. He is a drama content creator, even though that's not necessary because he is entertaining and he's charismatic. He doesn't have to rely on this. And MTash actually emphasized this to him. And I really hope that he can change moving forwards. But when I say playing victim is because this kind of behavior and manipulation tactics with distorting the points being made or just simply lying or doing straw man arguments when a point is being made and then he deflects and creates a new point to argue against to make himself look better happens a lot. Now, I have a whole list here of stuff that I remember off the top of my head. There's probably a lot more stuff that I'm forgetting here, but he had beef with Tuna and Jinx, Demone Kim, Majestic, but I mean, who didn't? Majestic, all right, scrap that one. He had a problem with MTash before, problem with Enviosity, Tony 2 most recently, and then myself. And then there's always all these tweets that are trying to piss children off on Genshin Twitter, like literal minors. He keeps finding them, and he keeps making inappropriate tweets to bait people to be angry, and then he encourages community to fight in those comments. Maybe he doesn't encourage them, but he knows when he makes these tweets that his stans and his followers are going to fight on his behalf. There's no way he doesn't see all the chaos and all the toxicity that these bait tweets are brewing. Then this translates into Genshin TikTok drama. And then you have the time when he belittled mental health breaks, which I believe was when Jinx ended up quitting YouTube. He reacted to it and he kind of made fun of it. He did later apologize for it, but like, why say that stuff in the first place? Then there's the gaslighting reaction drama. Then there's obviously the fire truck thing. And then, of course, the Wings event where he took a lot of shots at a lot of different content creators. I believe he actually made a whole video being very aggressive and kind of antagonizing, like making it so the people who are participating in this event could be seen as the bad guys and making life harder for a lot of people. So he has this habit of wanting, what I feel like he wants drama, he tries to bait drama, and he would downplay it as, I'm just outspoken. And then you have the whole shade thing, which has been going on recently, which I feel like has been targeted attacks on very specific content creators. When you say something like mint pickers, or when you say specific numbers, which are very obvious and easy to distinguish, it's pretty obvious who he's throwing shade at in recent times. And it's very frustrating to watch. And then he will then spin it, despite being the aggressor, he will be like, oh, or his chat will be like, why does he have to apologize? Why does he have to forgive anyone? What about the other person who did something wrong? When maybe the other person is just retaliating to him starting an issue. Now, don't make this misassumption that I'm saying the hate that he receives is warranted, because there's a lot of stuff that Tectone has said which has just been misconstrued or taken out of context, and he gets a lot of disgusting comments. A lot of people don't like him because of the way he looks or because of his previous reputation from the Ark Knights community. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of drama surrounding him, and not all of it is warranted. And I hate that I have to imply that some of it is warranted, because what I want is for him to take accountability for mistakes he's made or when he stepped on loads of people's toes, and he tries to just downplay it as, oh, it's just a joke. It's just my humor. It's not a big deal. Because that lack of empathy is what is causing a huge problem. And let me go into the DMs and explain what really went down on the day we had our falling out and what has been brewing since then. I hope I didn't forget anything. And yeah, it's been an anxiety-inducing and stressful moment for myself, Tectone, and Goose, and any of our overlapping viewers. I apologize, because it's probably hard to see people you like fighting amongst each other. But yeah, this is unfortunately the content creator world. And all I can say is it is what it is. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.